Let's start with the same example I was using earlier. That is, the ratio of men to women in my class is 15:20. Now you see the total over here is 35. If I convert it into ratio, what do I get? Men to women, I get 3:4. And the total over here is 7. Now the first thing that you need to understand is when you have numbers, you simplify them. I simplified this with 5, this with 5, this also with 5, and hence I get these numbers. So the first thing that you need to remember is ratios are not exact numbers. This is something that I've already stated earlier. So what am I trying to do over here? I am trying to do exactly the same thing that I've been stating earlier. I am trying to convert ratios into exact numbers because we understand numbers. Now let's have a look at this equation. So if I say 3x plus 4x equals 35, is this equation correct? 3 comes from here, 4 comes from here, and 35 is this. Yes, this is completely fine. Now, this is the point that you need to remember. I use this strategy a lot. Whenever you multiply a ratio with a constant, it becomes an exact number. It does not remain a ratio anymore. And you can see from this 35 that I am talking about the exact number of people. So 4x should represent the exact number of women and 3x is representing the exact number of men. So what am I saying over here? Whenever you have ratios and you multiply them with a constant, it becomes an exact number. What am I doing? Let me explain. You add this up, what do you get? 7x equals 35, x equals 5. We are basically bringing back this multiple into play. So we have this multiple, you multiply these ratios with 5, you will get the exact numbers. So 3 into 5 is 15, there you go, we have this number. 4 into 5 is 20, there you go, we have this number. And 7 into 5 is 35. So remember this concept that whenever you have ratios and you multiply them with a multiple, it does not remain a ratio anymore. Now you can play in numbers. I can't say 3 plus 4 equals 7 is my total number. This is wrong. But I can say 3x plus 4x equals 35. This is the right equation. Please remember this. I'll apply this in a couple of questions as well. Let's have a look at this question. In 5 years, the ratio of Julie's age to Sam's age will be 3:5. In 10 years, the ratio of Julie's age to Sam's age will be 2:3. What is the sum of their current ages? It's an interesting question. We are not given any actual numbers, we might get stuck. That is why I'll try to convert these ratios into numbers. Let's draw a table. So we have the variables are Julie, Sam. We need current ages. We have 5 years and we have 10 years. So this is the table that you need to fill. Okay. So the ratio of Julie's age to Sam's age after 5 years is 2:3. Okay. And the ratio of their ages after 10 years is, that's my bad. This is basically 3:5. And after 10 years, it's 2:3. Now, if I keep looking at these numbers, I can't do anything. But if I convert them into actual ages, I might be able to do something. Let's say the exact age of Julie after 5 years is 3x. I've multiplied this number with 3. Remember, if you multiply a constant with a ratio, it does not remain a ratio anymore. It becomes an exact number. Similarly, we will do the same scenario here. Basically, the exact ages of Julie and Sam after 5 years are 3x and 5x. That's how you cancel out and you get this ratio. This is what we did earlier as well. So now we know the exact ages of Julie and Sam after 5 years. So what will be their ages after 10 years in terms of x? 3x and 5x, you simply add plus 5. Let's say you're 15 years old. Now, what will be your age after 5 years? You simply add 5 and the answer will be 20. Similarly, after 10 years, their exact ages will be 3x plus 5 and 5x plus 5. If you have come this far, you're done. Now we know these are the exact ages after 10 years. After 10 years, the ages are 3x plus 5 over 5x plus 5 will give us this ratio. It's the same thing, 2:3. This was the equation that you had to solve. Simply cross multiply. 3 into 3x is 9x plus 15 equals 2 into 5x is 10x plus 10. 10x minus 9x is x and 15 minus 10 is 5. So your multiple is basically this. That's it. Now you need to put this x over here and find out their ages after 5 years or 10 years. We know after 5 years, what were their ages? After 5 years, it was 3x and 5x. So simply replace x with 5 and you will get their ages after 5 years. Julie's age after 5 years is 3 into 5, 15. And Sam's age after 5 years is 5 into 5, 25. But we are not done yet. The target answer is sum of their current ages. If you will be 15 after 5 years, what will be your age right now? You subtract 5. So Julie's age right now is 10 and Sam's age right now is 20. You add these up and you get 30 as your answer. This is the answer. Now that was an interesting question. Let's have a look at an easier question just to make you guys happy. Find the ratio of the shaded portion to the unshaded portion. Well, this is very simple. The shaded portion is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. And the unshaded boxes are 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. This is your answer, 5:4. Please do not write it like this. 4:5 will be wrong. Make sure that you understand the target answer. Let's have a look at another question. A big bowl holds 4 quarts of soup. If 1/3 cup of soup mix makes 2 quarts, how many big bowls can be filled with the soup made from 4 cups of soup mix? The first tip is to never get confused. In such kind of questions, you need to underline terms and then read a can. It's completely fine. So if you have read the question properly, you will understand that instead of 2 variables, you've got 3 variables or 3 ratios. But the question is extremely typical. It's literally, it has come so many times that I can tell you what is happening. Let me explain. The first thing you need to do is write down the variables. A big bowl holds 4 quarts of soup. So the first relationship ratio is between quarts, bowls and quarts. The next is between cups and quarts. So I will write it like this, quarts and cups. Do you notice something? Why have I written Q/C and not as C/Q? Because I wanted to tell you one of the variables will be the common ratio. And this is our best friend. I can tell what happens is, in like all of these questions, the examiner basically compares these variables at the extreme because they are not directly linked with each other. But you need to understand that you will always jump from quarts to either cups or bowls. That's the trick. Now let's just fill in the values. A big bowl holds 4 quarts of soup. Okay, if 1/3 cup makes 2 quarts, how many big bowls, this is our variable, this is our target answer, can be filled with the soup made from 4 cups? See? So basically the examiner has related bowls with cups. Now you need to understand that this is one proportion that you have to solve and this is the second proportion that you have to solve. Everything else remains the same. So you first calculate the quarts. Let's say this is like y. So you simply cross multiply. What do you get? we have 1/3 of y equals 2 into 4, 8. Y equals 24. So 24 quarts can be made with the soup made from 4 cups. So this is 24. Now this will come over here. Very simple. Now you do the math again, do the cross multiplication. What do you get? 4x equals 24 and x equals 6. Hence, 6 bowls can be filled with the soup made from 24 quarts or 4 cups. It's exactly the same thing. 4 cups equals 24 quarts. This is something you need to remember. Let's have a look at another past paper question. A quilter wants to make the design shown at left using the golden ratio. Oh my god. Okay, let's have a look. Specifically, he wants the ratio of the triangle heights A ratio B and B ratio C to each equal 1.62. See, we have this as the common variable. Be careful. If the quilter makes the triangle height A equals 8, approximately how tall should he make triangle height C? Again, same scenario. Look at this. A ratio B and B ratio C. He is basically comparing A and C. And you know what you have to do. B is our savior. Okay, he wants all the ratios to equal 1.62. That means A over B should be equal to B over C should be equal to 1.62. This is your equation. Just put in the values and you will get the answer. If the quilter makes the triangle height A equals 8, so from this we have 8 over B equals 1.62. Now first what you need to do is you have to calculate the value of B. You will need a calculator. B equals 8 divided by 1.62, which comes out to be, let me do the calculation, 4.93. Now you need to use this calculation, this proportion. So B over C equals 1.62. B is 4.93 over C equals 1.62 and C equals 4.93 over 1.62. This is our answer. Let me do the calculation. Divided by 1.62 and the answer is 3. That is option choice A. Let's have a look at a couple of questions involving proportions. Okay, another past paper question. A hospital stores one type of medicine in 2 decagram containers. Based on the information given in the box above, how many 1 milligram doses are there in one 2 decagram container? Okay, now we have this simple calculation. If 1 decagram equals 10 grams, then 2 decagrams equals X. Well, this is simple proportion. You cross multiply, what do you get? You get 20 grams. That's pretty obvious. Now we have this second proportion over here. 1000 milligrams equals 1 gram and we have over here 20 grams. So this is basically our target answer. You cross multiply, what do you get? 20 into 1000. This is basically 20,000. So we have 20,000 milligram doses are there in one 2 decagram container. That's option choice D. Very simple. Here we have another interesting past paper question involving table as well. A square field measures 10 meters by 10 meters. What I usually do is I know that the area is 100. So I start doing the calculation there and then if I can. Okay. You might need it, you might not, but it's always helpful. 10 students each mark off a randomly selected region of the field. Each region is a square and has side lengths of 1 meter. So the area of each region will be 1. Okay. And no two regions overlap. The students count the earthworms contained in the soil to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface in each region. The results are shown in the table below. Okay, there should be 10 regions. One, two, three. Yeah, these are 10 regions. Which of the following is a reasonable approximation? This is an important word of the number of earthworms to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface in the entire field. Yes, this is a proportion question straight away. So now we know the area of the entire field is 100, but we are given 10 regions. And the area of each region is 1 into 1 square meter, that is 1. So what we need to do is we need to add all these regions. So basically, if you add up all the 10 regions, how many earthworms you have for the 10 regions? You do the calculation. Yes, you will need a calculator here. You add all these up, this and this. So for the 10 regions, we get the answer will be 1471. And if you add all these 10 regions, what will be the area of these 10 regions? Area of the 10 regions. Very simple. It should be 10 square meter. And it is talking about the approximation, and you can see from the option choices it is rounded off to 1500. So let's say it's 1500 just to make your calculation easier. So if in the 10 square meter we have 1500 earthworms, how many will you have in 100 square meter? There you go. This is your proportion. Very simple. You simply multiply these. 10x equals 1500 into 100. You simply divide this with this. You get 15,000, which is option choice C. An interesting question. I hope you're not tired with the questions. We have another interesting past paper question. A coastal geologist estimates that a certain country's beaches are eroding at a rate of 1.5 feet per year. According to the geologist's estimate, how long will it take in years for the country's beaches to erode by 21 feet? It's simple proportion. On one hand, you have erosion, which is in feet, and on the other hand, you have time, which is in years. So it takes 1.5 feet per year. That's the erosion. And we have to calculate how long will it take in years, how long, this is your x, for the country's beaches to erode by 21 feet. There you go. Very simple. You cross multiply, you will get 3 by 2x. I have converted this into a fraction just to ease out the calculation, and we have 21. X equals 21. You know the drill now. Do not multiply. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and your answer is 14. So it will take 14 years for the country's beaches to erode by 21 feet.